Welcome, everyone. I am Matt Kreitz. I'm with the Department of Workforce Development, Adult Education, and this is another DWD Adult Ed training video. So, in this module, what we're going to cover is attendance. How you enter attendance, what is attendance, what types of attendance, all of these things. So, the first thing you need to know is the types of attendance. All of the things that I'm going to discuss have changed based on today is not the same as it was 6 months ago. The way our operation and your day-to-day jobs was relatively easy. Students showed up to class, you taught the class, you gave them attendance, you gave them tests, and it was easy. It has since become a little more complicated with COVID in that you now have obstacles to overcome that we have worked on throughout this year in getting things into the system, getting your distance education where it works. That's with Zoom, with any type of software where you can have the teacher interact with the students through media such as you watching YouTube right now for our videos. So here's how it works. A student has to have 12 hours of face-to-face contact hours to count as an enrolled student. Now, before COVID, that meant that they had to be sitting in your facility for a minimum of 12 hours before they counted as an enrolled student for you. It's not the case anymore. And we also have tons of information for you on how to set up these virtual classrooms. Our statewide call has had several AE programs participate on how they have overcome those obstacles and what they've done. There's a plethora of ideas and things. I am not here to tell you how to do it. I'm going to explain what the attendance is and then how to get it into enters in the most efficient and effective way, and all of the ways that you can enter attendance in enters. So the first type of attendance is the actual physical, they're in your building attendance. We may get back to that one day. The second type of attendance is considered distance attendance, which is now going to be, I think, the norm. More classes are going to go virtual. And it's a benefit to the students. It may be problematic for you as a program to how to figure out how to do this. But if a student has childcare issues or something like that and they're not showing up, it may create better involvement in your student and their success. And then the third type of attendance is the Indiana online only attendance. And that is a subcontract through and a partnership through Vincennes University, where they offer online courses for your students that can't attend regularly for your program. They'll do the instructions, you do the testing. Both programs get the credit for the gains. So those are the three types of attendance. Now, I said that an enrolled student has to have 12 hours of face-to-face contact hours. That has changed with COVID. We are now allowing a teacher to be in a Zoom meeting to where they can physically see that the student is there to count as face-to-face. Before COVID, that would just be considered distance education. You would still need to have them sitting in a classroom for at least 12 hours. Okay, that's not the case anymore. If you're saying that it's a distance, it's okay. You can put the hours in. We understand. So there's different ways that programs have found to overcome this. I've mentioned Zoom. There's a problem with Zoom, though, in that you have to pay for a license. And Your grant can cover that because of part of the electronics and stuff like that. Like you can get equipment and licensing things for your program through your AE dollars. But Zoom, if you don't buy it, is limited to how many people can be in it and how many minutes you can use it at a time. If you get the unlimited version, it's I think it goes up to 250 people in one room and there's no time limit. The free version is only like 50 and you can only have a 40-minute meeting. That's it. You only get 40 minutes. So those are some things to consider. There are other programs besides Zoom. I am not advocating for any of them. I'm just saying this is what has worked so far. So those attendance rosters also have to have student signatures. Okay, well, we know that if they're not coming in, they're not actually signing the rosters. You, as the program, have to verify that those students were there. Now, the other thing you can do is at the start of, here's just an idea, at the start of a course, when the teacher is there, they can take a screenshot of all of the student faces, right? And you can save that as here they were at the start of the class, and then do it again at the end of the class, and you have full participation, okay? You can keep those recordings. If you have a technology department that understands storage capabilities and can put all these videos, you could have a plethora of, hey, we have training videos, i.e. what I'm making for YouTube right now for you, that you can go back and look at. Or have students review. So there's many different things that you can do with the electronic media now. All right. TABE Online has gone to online testing, and we're still in the process of working with those things. So the three types of attendance are physical, in-person attendance, what we used to consider a distance attendance where they could take homework home or they did virtual learning, and then the IOO attendance, which is the Indiana Online Only. But now with COVID, attendance is attendance. You're going to verify that the student was there. So once the teachers have done all of the courses and the students have sat in the classrooms virtually or in person, if your school corp allows you to have students back in with social distancing and masks or whatever your school corp or fiscal agent or person in charge says that you can do, and then in line with whatever governors and state regulations are being put out for COVID, you can do whatever you need to do to get the students their education. So we're going to go ahead and go into the different ways for you to enter attendance for a student. I'm going to just show you the different methods in an overview, and then I'm going to show you, if I were doing it, how I would do attendance at a program. You are free to use whichever method you see as beneficial to you as the user. Okay, not everybody has the experience that I have in Enters, and they'll do it a different way, but we give you options. So I'll show you all of the options first. I'm going to show you how they all work, and then you can make a determination of how you want to enter your attendance. Again, your data must be entered in minimum of weekly per the policy. I suggest doing it every day if you can. If you can dedicate a body or a person or an individual to doing data entry, this is the critical. Attendance is the most critical data entry point on your day-to-day stuff. Everything is predicated on the attendance hours of when they get tests, because TABE says they have to have so many hours of instruction before you can do a post-test. So it is really important to understand how to do attendance and how to enter that attendance, and to make sure that you're entering it promptly or in a timely manner. So The first method, is you just go to rapid entry, and the very first tab is attendance. This pulls up a screen that is the rapid entry attendance screen. From here, you will have to select a course from the drop down that you want to enter attendance for. I'm going to select the orientation course because that is the only course that I have students in. At the end of this module, I'm going to show you how to take all of the students that were in this orientation course and assign them to the other two courses or move them to a different course. So when I select orientation, it populates the list of all of the students that have been in that course in the last 90 days. Now, this is going back to the introduction video on your preferences. My preferences are set to 90 days. So any student that has had attendance within the last 90 days will show up here. So rapid entry attendance is the first way to enter attendance. I'm not going to enter any now. This is just the first overview. I'm going to close that. The next way to enter attendance is at the student level. All right, so if I double click a student and I go to their attendance tab and I select this course, the orientation course, I can go over here to the right and I can put in an attendance date by clicking in the attend date, put the date in, type the hours. Is it distance or is it IOO? If you're working with VU with the IOO program, you would select the checkbox here. Or if it's distance, if not, okay? And then close and save the record. So close and save. I'm going to say no. So you could do attendance that way, by the individual. Here's another way. You can go to Views and Courses. Double click and edit the course. And you can go to the students, and each student is listed now in the course, and you can put attendance in here as well. So you can go to the course and enter each student manually and do their attendance that way. So it's the same thing. Just hit the drop down, add the date of the attendance, and then put the hours in. I mentioned this in the previous video. You're not allowed to bulk hours. Okay. Explain bulking hours. Each set of attendance must be its own record. So you are not allowed to say, my Chewbacca was here all week and he attended 5 days at 2 hours a day, and at the end, give them 10 hours. Not how it works. It has to be every single day that the student attended with the amount of hours in the field. Say that again. Every single day that the student attended with the amount of hours in the field. If they were here for 1.5 hours, that's all that they signed for. That's all that goes on that line. You don't add them up. This registration of attendance should match every single attendance roster that your teacher does. To the hour, to the date, to the student. When your program is monitored, we should see that attendance roster and be able to open enters and go, yep. All of those are in and they're all the same. So it has to all match. Right? You can't just add hours up and bulk them together and here you go. That's what the term bulking hours means. Can't do that. So this method was going into the course and entering the hours on the course. So that's 3. It's 3 different ways to enter attendance. There is a 4th. And I mentioned that in the intake video of when you do the intake on the last page, Down here, you can enter the course and then all of the hours and do that at the intake. So I also said in that video, this is not the place to enter attendance. That's the fourth place you can enter attendance for a student. This is the most cumbersome because it takes the longest. You're going through all those different screens, right? So I'm going to cancel this. In order of preference for a Matt Kreitz, my preference of how to do attendance is in this order. If I have an attendance roster in front of me for all of the students in a course, I am going to go to rapid entry and attendance, and I'm going to open the course that I'm looking at for the attendance roster that I have in front of me. And here's why I, Matt Kreitz, would do it this way. Not because I'm a super user or anything, but just watch how efficient this is. Now, I'm going to change my dates because I don't want to do today. I want to go back in time. They all started on 6/22. That's when I did their applications. Matt, you didn't enter all your data correctly. You're 100% right, class. I did not. So once I set my from and to dates, I'm going to click search. Now, if you notice, it changed the attendance date, right? All of these students were here on that day. So I can click in the attend hours and go 3. Click in the next one and 3. Click in the next one, 3, because my orientation course is 3 hours. And so on until I have all of my students with 3 hours of attendance on 6/22 in this course. I'm going to click save. This is the only screen where you manually have to save data. Every other screen, when you close, it asks you, do you want to save? And it will save it. Just click save. Yes, yes, yes. So that's one way of entering the attendance on the rapid entry for this day when I've got the sheet in front of me. Here's another way. I'm going to go to the next day. And I'm going to click search. So I said it's 6/23, 6/23. There are no hours. The date is 6/23. Here's why I would use this here and why I would do my attendance this way. If I right click on the grid anywhere, if you see right here, it says set all hours. If I click that and I do 3 and click OK, I just did the attendance for that entire class in 2 seconds for one day for an entire class. So if I had 40 students here, I just set, and all 40 were there for the entire time. I just did all of their attendance at one time in 2 steps. Again, those steps are right click, set all hours, set the hours to, let's say, 2, click OK, and it auto populates every single student's hours. Done. Click save. You are done with that day, with that course. I did that in 2 seconds. Now, Matt, Han Solo didn't show up that day, or Han Solo left early. Okay, that's fine. Han Solo left early. He left a half hour early. That is one student that I have to go to and change. Matt, Chewbacca didn't even show up that day. Okay, hit backspace. Those hours are gone. Do not enter 0 hours if the student did not show up. Leave it blank just like that. Delete out the hours. 0 hours in the system still counts as a day of attendance, even though there was no attendance there. So leave it blank. Blank is no attendance. So I click save. Yep, I want to save it. Okay. Now, if you've paid attention, I gave them 3 hours on the first day. Some of them got 2 hours. one got 1.5, and the other has no hours. So he's only got 3. This is the rapid entry attendance. So if I close this and I go to views and I go to students and I view all, you will now see in my total hours column, I have hours populated for this. And look, 5, 4.5, 3, 5, 5, 5. If I go to the student record, and I look at their attendance, it now lists the 2 dates of attendance and their hours. That's it. Okay. So that was rapid entry attendance. So I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to go to rapid entry attendance. I'm going to give them some hours. I'm going to select my course, the orientation course. I'm going to go back to 624. To 624. Click search. Dates changed. Set all hours. Set it to 3. Click OK. They were all there. Save. Yes. Yes. 625 to 625. Search. Set all hours. 2. Okay. Lando didn't show up. Luke was only here for 1 hour, not the full course. Save. Yes. And okay. I have just done a week's worth of attendance, all while talking to you for all of these students in less than 5 minutes, even going through to the other screen and showing you. This is why Matt would do attendance here. Now, there are certain cases where this doesn't make sense to do this. So if I close this entry and I go to my next preferred method of attendance, so first would be rapid entry. The next is to go to the course, the next best one, because you are on the course. I open the course, because I'm only dealing with this course and these students. The next would be to add in attendance here on the course. All right. So Chewbacca has, what's the most? 10. I got him at 10. So he missed the attendance on 623. So if I right click, add hours, notice there is now a new box down here at the bottom. It's really hard to probably see on my screen, but there is a new box. Click in the date there. We're going to go back to 623, not May. 623. We're going to give him 3 hours and close. And it's going to say, do you want to save? Yes. If I open it back up, go to students again. Chewbacca now has 623 hours. So individually at the course level, you can add hours, the second method, or you can go to that course and do all of the students' hours for the day. All right. But this is still a little more cumbersome than setting all their hours and removing students who weren't there or editing the time. Oh, I messed up. Han on 625 was only here for an hour. Okay, we'll change it. Close. It didn't ask me to save, so I don't know if that's saved. No, it didn't. I got to click out. There. Click over here. There we go. Okay, so that's option number 2. Third option is by going to the views, the students tab, going to the individual student and giving them hours on their attendance screen. So you select the course, and the reason why this isn't as preferred as at the course, because you're only entering attendance for that course. If this student had more than one course and you accidentally clicked on the wrong course, you're adding the hours to the wrong course. So Just be aware of what you're doing. But again, I would add hours. It puts a blank box. Let's give him some attendance on the 25th. 3 hours. Yes. Lando, did you get your 3 hours? You did on the 25th. Now, go back. You remember what I said about loading the grids? Okay, so I just gave Lando Calrissian 3 hours. He had 8 when I opened this screen. It's missing. It didn't save. But I just showed you it saved. This grid loads once and once only when you first open it. Any changes you make to the student record don't take effect until you view all again. You refresh the grid. Lando Calrissian now has 11 hours. Okay? So, keep those things in mind. Now you can see that their course is populated. The last attend date for all of them is populated. Everything is good. Everything's good. Now, let's add them to a new course. All right, so again, let me back up. Let's review the ways to enter attendance. Number 1, most preferred. Rapid entry attendance. Select your course. Set all hours. Put the hours in. And click save, and you're done. Number 2. Beta cat. Hope you can't hear my cat. What's up, Beta cat? Come here. Come here, Beta cat. Told you. Introduction. He would come down. He wants attention. So, he's Beta the streamer cat. So number 1 was rapid entry. Number 2 is go to views and courses. This is the next best option because you're only dealing with the students in a particular course that will match your attendance roster. As you open the course and you go to students and you manually add their hours over here on the right. And then the third option is more of a one-off. I need to add these hours for this student, missed them or whatever. And that is the student views screen. Open the student record, go to attendance, and manually enter their attendance over here. So those are the 3 types. Well, there's 4, but those are the 3 types of how you're going to enter attendance on a day-to-day basis. The 4th one was at the intake screen, and I said not to enter attendance there. Please don't. You're going to spend more time trying to do that and get those attendance hours in than what I just showed you. Okay? Leave them blank there. Just get them in a course. All right. If you have any questions, rewind. We'll look at it again. Also, if you have any questions, remote in with Baumgar. We're here to help. So, I also said at the beginning of this in my little intro that I was going to show you how to give a student a new enrollment into a new course. So, all of my students now have their hours in their orientation, okay? And Han Solo is going to go on to be taught by someone else in a different course. And here's how you add that course. Over here on the course selection, you right click, add enrollment. And then in the course, underneath the header, if you click, it will give you a list of the courses. Just click the code that you want. Han's going to the ABE Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday course. And click OK. Now that this is highlighted, you can give him attendance hours. And he started that course on the 29th. He has 3 hours there. If I close, save the record, Han Solo, when I refresh, is now the only student that has a different set of attendance hours with a different course because that was the last date of attendance for him and the course that his last date of attendance was. You can see that it is now that ABE Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday course right here. All right. But his total hours are still here. So if I go back to his student screen, he's got 11.5 hours. Total hours, 11.5. Total hours for this course, 3. Total hours for that course, 8.5. But the total hours are 11. He's still not enrolled. Okay. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to move Chewbacca of the Wookiee into the ELL course. So again, that was right click, add, click in the blank line underneath the code, click OK, add some attendance hours on the 29th, 3, click close, yes, refresh the grid. Now Chewbacca has ELL. Simple, right? Okay, so I'm going to continue on. I'm going to move all of these students out of their orientation course so that it would be more like what you would do on a normal basis. Also, those students wouldn't have that total amount of hours in an orientation course. I think most programs have about a 3-hour orientation process, maybe less. It just depends on how you set up your orientation course of what all you cover and do. So I'm going to go through all of these students really fast and give them a new enrollment. And then I'm going to go back and do a bunch of attendance for them through the rapid entry on all of their courses. So you can just watch. I'm not going to talk much. Just watch and follow the steps if you want. I suppose I could do this off cam to get them all. Oh no, I don't want 720. No. I may talk to myself. You know, never know what's gonna happen in the crazy world of Matt and the Captain America Studios here. By the way, I've had lots of positive comments. Thank you very much. I just want to take this opportunity to say thanks for all of the positive comments I've gotten from previous videos. I hope that we can continue to get these out and I'll have them done so that everybody has the opportunity to see them. Also, what I'm doing is the reason why I'm refreshing them all is to see which their last course was, so I know that I've got everybody out of the orientation course, which obviously I clicked on the wrong student. Yes, this is all I'm doing. I'm just going into the attendance, add an enrollment, click on the course code, click OK. Go over here to the attend date. 3 hours. Save. Okay. Now, all of the students are out of the orientation course and now they're in their normal course. And now I'm going to be doing attendance for an entire month to give them hours so that on the next module I can enter tests. So Again, my preferred method is going to be rapid entry. And now if you notice, when I hit the drop down for the courses, hey, there's new students there. Hey, there's only the Wookiee there because he's the only one in the course. And I don't ever have to use this orientation course again for these students. You can add as many students as you want. So I'm going to go to the ABE. I'm going to go back to their first date was the 29th because I remember that. Again, set all hours. 2. They were all here. And now we're going to start the distance hours because COVID. Save. Yes. Yes. I know that seems a little. Why did you do that, Matt? Well, I want to make sure that it's saved and I don't have to redo it. Set all hours. They were there for 3. Save. Yesy. Okay. Now this was the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday class, right? So they didn't come Thursday or Friday. So let's do 6. 6. Search. Hours. 3. Okay, but Leia wasn't here. And Luke only attended half of it. And that's the other thing. I didn't mention it, but you can do 15-minute intervals just by putting in the correct percentage. So it'd be 2.75 or 2.25 or whatever, right? So you can do that. Save that. Yes. Okay. I hope you're saying how easy, if you do this every single day, how quick and easy this is. 2. But Han wasn't there that day. I get it. I've only got 5 students. I know what I'm doing. The 8th. Oh. But I want you to see, I just did. How many weeks of attendance did I just do? I just did a week's worth of attendance. All right, now I'm going to start on the 13th. I'm caught up almost to the current date. Do-do-do. All right, so I am now caught up to current time, current date, because today is 7/20. Today would be their first day back because it's a Monday. I'm caught up. So if they come today and I do this again this afternoon or whatever, or tomorrow morning, I'm done with my attendance. It's not that hard. Now, if you have 100 courses with over 1,000 students, you're going to say, Matt, that is still overwhelming. Yes. And if you're a program that's that big, you're going to have more than one data entry person. Or you can allow your teachers to enter their own attendance and someone just manages and makes sure that that's being done. But this is the Matt Kreitz method of how if I were in your shoes as a data entry person, even at a big program, I'd still do it this way to those sheets. All right, boom, and then go through that course and get it done. How I would do it. So if I go back to my student views and I refresh the grid, now you can see all of their hours are there. Now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, my goodness. Holy cow, now I've created errors. What is going on? Okay, I'm not going to cover the errors right now in a separate module. But because I have done my job correctly and I have entered my hours, it's now the system is saying, hey, you messed up. You messed up. Here's what you messed up. They don't have a test within the first 12 hours of their instruction, and we don't know what their entry level is, so it's missing a learner record. Okay, it's missing information to be able to calculate them correctly for the system because they are all enrolled. All right. So that's the way you do attendance. All right. I hope that was a good explanation of how the different types of attendance works, how the COVID thing. If you have need of assistance, reach out to anyone on the DWD staff, your AEC, on help getting guidance on how to set up a virtual classroom and monitoring that. The same with the testing. When I start getting into the testing, in the next module, you're going to need assistance if you've not already been doing it on how to get set up and running so that your courses work fine, your data is being put in fine, your students are counting. All of those things, it's a big process and it's a hurdle that all of our programs went through already. And if you're brand new, you're not only having to learn how to do this system and set it up, but you're learning how to do it virtually or in very, very small classroom settings, however you're allowed to do your education. So if you need assistance, reach out to your AEC. If you need assistance with the data, reach out to Brent or I. From the very first introduction video, that Baumgar link I showed you, we can help you do this. The other videos were not more of your day-to-day operation. This is your day-to-day operation on the next modules coming. This one and the next one on testing, and then the next one on what are student errors, what are test errors, what are all of the errors that you have to fix. All of that is your day-to-day operations of managing your data in Inters. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please rewind, watch again, pause, take notes. I'm trying to be as entertaining on a dry subject as possible by letting you see my cat, me talking to my cat when he comes down here, just so that it's not as you're not just sitting here listening to the drone. Because, you know, I'm sure I could put you to sleep. I told all of our AEC people, yep, I'm going to go to sleep, watch these training videos. So, yeah, reach out to us. And thanks. This has been another DWD Adult Education Training video.